So, welcome to my book summary of The Diary of a CEO, the 33 Laws of Business and Success. So, I'm going to be breaking down whatever I've studied and basically explaining it to you. So, the first law he says here is fill your fill your first five buckets. So, basically, in life, according to him, for success, for you to experience massive success, you have five buckets to fill up. The first bucket is based on what you know, it's your knowledge. The second bucket is your skill, basically, what can you do? The third bucket is your network. Who do you know? Your fourth bucket is your resources. That is, what do you have? And your fifth bucket is your reputation. Who knows you? Like, what in the world are you known for? So it's starting to fill this in the right order, and it kind of makes sense if you look at this analogy, right? Your first bucket, which is your knowledge. What do you know? We're basically born into this world with tabula rasa, almost no conscious knowledge. But the knowledge you gather and the knowledge that you gather and people rarely know, the better for you. The knowledge you gather that people rarely know gives you an edge in life. And speaking of knowledge, my best bet is you should get to understand that as you move older in life, conventional knowledge or wisdom is rubbish, it's trash. It doesn't get you anywhere far in life, neither does it give you an edge over anybody. But back to the point now is you have knowledge, quite all right. You use that knowledge to acquire skills based on what you can do. Now, with these skills, because the skills is very, very valuable to other people, not to you. So the next step now is to fill the third bucket, which is you have to know people who will need the skill that you want, which is you need a network. Now, when you have a couple of people that this skill is valuable, that is your network, you begin to gain more resources. You get paid for the job you're doing. You get paid for the value you're bringing. But whether it's entertainment, in the health, wealth, relationship, happiness market, so far you know people and what you know is valuable, people will pay you for it. Heck, people even pay for knowledge these days without even skills. So if you have like a very nice, if you basically have like proper knowledge stored up, you can actually get paid for it. So I really don't want to get into the nuances of his book. I'm giving you based on his point of view. My nuances come later at the end. So when you know people and people are ready to pay you for this, what happens is you begin to gather resources to yourself. You begin to gather more things to yourself. Now, with these resources, over time, you begin to build, with these resources, you grow a bigger network. And with that bigger network, you become known for something, right? If you're delivering well, you get known for something. And when you're known for something, that itself is called reputation. Now, he says that you see those two first buckets, the knowledge you acquire, and the skills you acquire, that is what you know and what you do, they are yours for life. Regardless of any industry you get into, right? And mind you, we live in an age where AI is basically taking over. And people are shaking to their knees. They're asking themselves, what can they do right now to protect themselves from AI? And I think one answer I got right, which I noted down on my screen, is you're going to need to learn some things from very few foundational stuff, right? Because regardless of AI and AI's position, these things would always be useful with or without AI. And I got this from a particular guy, Devon Erickson on Twitter, who I would say he gives nice ideas. And he says, one, you need to know logic. That is how to derive the truth from facts. Trust me, this is most important right now because I literally see people who create content, who create ideas with AI, and they have zero idea whether whatever the AI gave to them is valid or not. So being able to think for yourself in an age of AI, trust me, will be a superpower because AI these days is beginning to feel like plastic surgery for the brain. A lot of people are just mindless when it comes to it. The second here is statistics. You need to be able to understand what data basically means, because if you can read data and you can understand data to its core and you can apply it, that edge is crazy, right? Okay, see statistics this way because I think somebody said something to me that blew my mind. He says the brain has to think in shortcuts, which is not a bad thing. It's a good thing if your brain thinks in shortcuts if you have the right shortcut. But if you do not have the right shortcut, you have a problem. You really, really have a problem if you have the wrong shortcut. Now, the third thing here is rhetoric, how to persuade and spot persuasive tactics. And it's basically Persuasion in itself is super important. And I don't think he added this, but I'll add this myself, psychology. Because if you're going to be dealing with a lot of human beings, psychology is a very, very important thing for you to learn. If you understand psychology, obviously, psychology of other people, it's easier for you to persuade those people. And the other point here is, okay, it's psychology he wrote here. Wow. I obviously, I didn't see properly is how to discern and understand the true motives of other people. And apart from psychology, he used the word practical psychology here. And this thing, at this moment, it hits me deep because when he put the word practical psychology, it made me factor in the fact that the colleges that teach psychology these days, they don't teach them from the point of helping the individual. They teach them more from the point of a political agenda. That is why, trust me, right now in the world, we have an identity crisis. Speaking of crisis, I think at the moment of making this video, Donald Trump is now US president, and you could see a lot of people now actually being happy, right? Because they feel like a lot of people have been silenced because they feel like the psychology that has been taught has been made to silence a lot of people, lots of ideas. And trust me, I feel like psychology is a very powerful topic for people to actually study, and everybody should study psychology because when you study psychology, you begin to live more according to the truth. You no longer feel, you begin to understand why people do what they do. You're no longer bothered with what people do anymore. And the next one now is investment, how to manage and grow your existing assets. Because trust me, if you do not know how to invest, there's really no point in earning. I mean, except you're earning for survival. But if you're earning for, should I say, for life, you want to live that soft life, knowing how to invest is as important. And trust me, I see a lot of people outsource investments. Yeah, you can outsource your investments if, first of all, if you can pay for it, because all of those outsourcing investments comes at a cost, right? And to be very frank, a lot of those costs doesn't really come back to the people. A lot of them don't really get value of their money. I mean, if at all they get, the returns are just maybe slightly above inflation rates. So if you know about investments, you probably understand that the crypto market is super volatile, right? And this why this thing is super valuable right now is the fact that when people say crypto is the future, I say, hey, I can't trade crypto, and I don't think I would ever trade crypto, right? Regardless of, even though Bitcoin is the future of transactions, I would always try my best to remain valuable. If I remain valuable, the money would come almost automatically. Automatically. Though I know that at this point of making this video, there are a lot of shifts in the entire world's paradigm. The way we do everything is shifting. The last thing here it calls here is agency. How to make decisions about what you want to do and take proactive measures to proactive action to actually making it happen, which I feel like is super important. So what he's saying here is when you have agency, you basically have a couple of tools in your tool belt. So that means is that you're not really afraid of what is coming in next because you know that whatever comes in next, you can quickly adapt. I have tech bros right now. I'm a tech bro, right? I just left the entire tech scene slowly. I still do a couple of tech gigs here and there, and my tech bros are saying that the industry feels like it's slowly dying out. And all these things started when AI became mainstream. It all started. So according to now, back to this diary of the CEO, he says that the first two buckets are mostly skipped by people because people have this ego, right? They have this ego to, you know what, I don't want to take that hard grind to know, to do deep knowledge. I don't want to take that hard grind to learn a skill. If I just know people, right, which is connections, because you see people say things like, your network is your net worth. Yes, but at the same time, you have to be valuable to that network. If that network is valuable and the value you are bringing to that network can't really be stated, you have a problem. It's just a matter of time before the network either kicks you out or the network crashes. So we're starting to fill this bucket in that order because for most people, that is your reality. I remember a guy talking about how he earns about $1 million per month. That's because he connected suppliers of, I think, face mask to some mass purchase, some guys in the US and different countries. And he just passively earns it just because of people that he knew. At the same time, he had to understand the market and the value chain and how to play in that value chain. So he needed knowledge. He needed the skills to negotiate. Because I brought this thing up with my friend and he brought up this post of this $1 million guy per month. So that's about it. So it says that, let me just read this last part. It says that whenever there's something called an earthquake, right? A lot of people would panic. Like for example, right now we have AI, we have AI coming into market, which is a pandemic. It is shaking a lot of things, but the things that you know and the skills that you acquire would always be there for you, regardless of the situation. Now it says that those who hoard gold have riches for a moment. Those who hold knowledge and skills have riches for a lifetime, because why? They can always translate that thing back into value. True prosperity is what you know and what you can do. So I really leave it there. Part of this book is that it's 33 laws, and I like the fact that almost every law is concise. That you can basically drill it down to a 3 to 4 minutes bullet points. But I like to do this because it allows me to branch into ideas that I have read somewhere and connect these dots accordingly. So yeah, that's it. In an age of AI, a lot of things are very unstable, and you should not want to be caught off guard. So the best bet for you right now is to actually fill those 5 buckets in those orders, regardless of. Just look at where you are in the journey and fill the buckets accordingly. So thank you very much for tuning in. Can you share my book with someone who you know, right? Is also a fan of Stephen Bartlett, the founder of the Diary of a CEO podcast. That guy does a lot of work. He does very good stuff, and he's one of the people who is very open minded. You can hear his conversations. They're not politically, what do you call it? They're not aimed to be politically damaging or politically opinionated, but they're like very free, and it makes you become like a better thinker, because you are hearing views from different directions rather than other sorts of content that gives you one side of the story. They aim not to have a balanced conversation. So thank you very much. See you soon. See you in the next episode.